Professor Akram here, and in today's tutorial, I'm going to give you a quick overview of how to get started with OBS Studio. If we go to the OBS website, which is obsproject.com, you will find a download for OBS, which you can get in multiple platforms, Windows, Mac, and Linux. Basically, OBS is a free open source software for video recording and live streaming. And once you have downloaded your version of OBS, you will start OBS and see a screen kind of like this one. And you've got a couple of different things going on here. In this main window is our display capture. It's what it's currently going to record. And by default, it is set to your PC monitor. So anything that's going on screen is going to capture. Now down here we've got a couple of other things going on. We've got our scenes, we've got sources, we've got our audio mixer, scene transitions, and then our controls. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do with OBS, but I'm just going to go over the overview. So the first thing you want to do before you even start recording is to set up your settings. So if I click on settings, you can see there's a lot of options here, but the main one we're going to look at is the video option, and we're going to look at what size you're recording and what size you are outputting as far as resolution goes. Now you can see that everything is grayed out for me, and that is because I am currently using OBS to record this video. So I can't actually mess with any of the settings. But the first one is our base resolution. What is the device aspect ratio that you are recording from? And in my case, I'm recording at a resolution of 1920 by 1080. The second one is your output scale. What is the final output video going to be rendered at? And again, I'm doing 1920 by 1080. There are multiple reasons why you might change some of these. For example, you may be recording a game capture and your monitor may be capable of 4K resolution. But if you're, say, live streaming this and you want to cut down on lag and you want to just have it upload a little bit faster, you may downscale to a resolution of 1920 by 1080. Another reason you might want to change your output resolution is to keep your video small in file size. Now, I mentioned that my resolution as far as my base resolution is set to 1920 by 1080. But if I go to my display settings, you'll notice that I can actually increase my monitor display all the way up to 4K. Now I can do that. However, if you are recording a video such as a video like this, a video tutorial, where you want the viewer to be able to accurately see all the icons and menus, at a 4K resolution, everything is a little bit tiny on screen. And if somebody is watching this video from, say, a mobile device, it's going to be really tiny. So to ensure that everything's just a little bit bigger, I set my screen resolution to 1920 by 1080, and I also output at that resolution. So determine what your display resolution is going to be, and then determine what your output's going to be. And that's pretty much all you have to do on the video settings. The next big one that you want to set up is your output. And this is going to be how are you exporting this out. Now, in my case, I'm going to do recording, so I'm not going to mess with any of the streaming settings for right now. I'm going to do recording. And in the recording, the main thing that you want to do here is identify the recording path or the folder of which you want your recording to be saved in. And in my case, I've actually created a folder on the D drive called OBS videos, and then they'll all be populated there. And once I'm done recording, I can move them wherever I want. A Key thing to keep in mind is that video recordings are awfully large files. So don't set this path to, say, a flash drive. You may run out of space before you're done recording. So I would always ensure that the path of your recording videos are going to a hard drive or an external drive that has the capacity that can hold such large files. And the next thing that you want to look at is the recording format. What file type are you recording these videos as? In my case, I'm going to be recording these as an MP4. I also have a mic set up, and I'm going to be using OBS to record the audio. And I've got an audio track, and I've got one audio track selected for the recording here. I'm not using any special encoder or anything at the moment, so these are the basic settings for recording. That's all you really need to be concerned about. And I'm going to press OK. Returning back to the main screen, you can see that we have a couple of different options down at the bottom of OBS, and this gives us a bunch of options to get fancy with our recording. So here we have scenes, sources, our audio mixer, and scene transitions. Inside of OBS, we could set up different scenes to go between. If we were recording this live stream where we wouldn't have the opportunity to go back and edit like we normally do with a recorded video, then you might want to set up all your scenes that you can quickly switch between. And that's also where the scene transitions come into play, and you could have a fade between scenes. And again, both of these are really if you are live streaming. If you're just recording, you can always take this recording into a video editor and add those effects in post. The only other two items to talk about is our audio mixer and our sources. So here you can see an audio mixer. I've got a desktop built-in integrated mic, but I'm actually using an external mic. So if you are using an external mic, you might want to look at it here. You can play with the levels here and check and make sure you're not going over a certain range. But one item that you might look at are the display capture modes. So right now I have my display capture set to the default, and if I go to the plus sign, you can see that I could be capturing a variety of different things. So by default you have one display capture, and that is basically your desktop, and it's doing almost like a print screen. It's capturing everything that is going on. It's capturing the menu system, it's capturing my mouth, everything. It's also capturing, as you can see in the window, my desktop and all the icons and things like that. Now, of course, if I maximize this, I no longer see the desktop, and I get this really weird mirror effect. Let me minimize this back down. However, sometimes you may not want to show the entire desktop, or you just want a cleaner view. You can choose a window capture and set it to the application that you're recording. Keep in mind that it will not record any menus or drop downs. Those are actually on top of another layer on the window. So it will only record the application, no drop downs, no right clicks, nothing like that. So if you were just going to be capturing, say, a PowerPoint slideshow, that might work for you. But if you're doing a tutorial like I am here, you want to show those menus and have them populate on screen. Other things that you might want to use is your video capture device. If you have a webcam, that would show that image. You could also plug in an external camera and bring that image into your scene as well. And there's a few other items here if you want to use any of these, but for the most part, and for just a straightforward recording, you're going to simply use the display capture, and then you can maximize the window that you really want to capture versus capturing the entire desktop, but you are welcome to do that as well. And that is pretty much the basics of OBS for creating some screen capturing recordings. All you have to do when you're ready to record is hit the start recording button. As you can see here, mine says stop recording because I am currently recording. But once you're ready, you hit start recording, and when you're done, you hit stop recording. And your video files will be saved in the folder that you set up earlier. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and don't forget to check out our other tutorials on the channel. What are you waiting for? Get creative today!